Hi, welcome back to BrainFLoTv / Hot Topics TV. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get into the story. We've been waiting on some update information about YNW Melly because honestly, his case has been dragging on forever. And people are just over it now. Both the people who are fans of YNW Melly, who are wishing him all the best and are screaming free YNW Melly, both them and the people who are saying lock him up forever, everybody is just exhausted about this whole trial process. I mean, this is the longest I've ever seen any trial drag on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen anything like this. So right now, we don't even know what's about to happen, but we do have some updated information. So shout out to Hip Hop DX. It says that YNW Melly has been moved to a new jail. His first time being moved since 2019, which is where he will stay until his double murder retrial reaches a verdict. His double murder retrial, by the way, is right now at an indefinite start date. First, they pushed it forward, kept pushing it forward, and then eventually they arrived at a place where we don't even know what date it's supposed to start. So, the Murder on My Mind rapper, whose real name is Jamel Demons, he's been incarcerated since he was accused of murdering his two childhood friends, YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser, both who are also members of the YNW collective, hence the YNW before each one of their names. And according to inmate records from that facility, he has been moved from the Broward County Jail, where he has been since he turned himself in back in February of 2019, to the Paul Rain Detention Center in Pompano Beach, Florida. So he turned himself in 2019 to the Broward County Jail, and that's where he has been for the last 5 years. And now they're moving him to Paul Rain Detention Center in Pompano Beach, Florida. Man, imagine somebody turning themselves in and then you not walking back out. And 5 years later, you still have not had a trial. Wow. Anyhow, according to the facility's website, the Paul Rain Detention Center, people are speculating, saying, is this a maximum security center? Is this a lower security center? Because it could mean things. It could mean that Melly's getting in trouble. It could mean that he is on drugs in there. It could mean that he needs help. He needs counseling. It could mean that he is just one of them that's off the walls and he's facing serious charges, so he needs to be monitored closely, and they don't have those resources at the Broward County Jail, so they'll transfer him up the road to Pompano, where he could be better monitored. Well, according to the website, which I'm going to take it directly from, according to prison information, it says that this facility where YNW Melly is being moved to is called the Paul Rain Detention Facility, and it is located in the city of Pompano Beach, Florida, which has a population of 104,410 people. This prison has a capacity of 1,020 inmates, which means that this is the maximum amount of beds available at this facility. Paul Rain Detention Facility began processing inmates once the original construction was completed and service started in 2004, but may have been expanded or renovated since that time to accommodate the growing prison population. Prisoners here at this facility, they are housed in separate areas depending on the crimes they committed. So, back in Broward County, where YNW Melly was at, I think everybody is pretty much housed in the same area, right? If you're going to do 2 years, if you're looking at 5 years, if you're looking at 10 years, if you're looking at triple murder with life without the possibility or death sentence, it doesn't matter what it was, they would house everybody in the same as long as you haven't been to trial yet. They just moved him to a place where You are separated based on the charges that you're facing. Prisoners are housed in separate areas depending on the crimes that they committed, depending on also their current risk assessments, depending also on their current behavior. This facility is currently under the supervision of a man named Captain Josepha Benjamin, and he's known to be a no-nonsense kind of guy. And this facility also houses female offenders as well. If you have a family or loved one that is currently incarcerated at Paul Rain Detention Facility, the first thing you should do is contact the prison for information on the inmate. Well, pardon my cough, but that's neither here nor there. That's like saying if you're a YNW Melly fan and you would like to, then you go ahead and contact the facility. I don't know if you'll be able to get in touch with him, but if you go to their website, they have their mailing address, P.O. Box. They have a phone number that you could call to reach the facility and all kinds of stuff. Inside of this prison, though, they have prison programs. They have general education where you could get your GED, right? They have Alcoholics Anonymous in here. They have parenting skills classes. They got anger management. They got veterans groups, workshops, and they got a work release program, among other things in here. It is also said that at this facility, directly inside of their living area, you have officers that work right there. So they rotate out on shifts and they're there. In the Broward County Jail where YNW Melly is being moved from, those guards that work there, they leave, but they're not constantly there. So you could say that's a place where the prisoners run the facility. Because, hey, each guard that comes in is like, hey, they don't pay me enough for this shit. I'm going to do my shift and make it home without getting shanked. That's my goal. But in this facility that they're moving him to at the Paul Rain facility, these guys live inside of the facility with them. As in, they go home, but they rotate out. So there's always uniformed individuals inside with them, which allows them to watch them closer, to monitor them individually, and also in case they need any help or anything else, they could be dealt with without even leaving that facility. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know what that really says about this place. It says that the Paul Rain Center is a maximum security prison. Now, you got to ask yourself, he's facing a murder charge, double murder, with the possibility of the death penalty. Just before we go into his retrial, because the last trial ended in a mistrial, they moved him to a maximum security where the staff works closely with the inmates, and the inmates' movement, it's kept to a minimum. You can't go up and down the tier. You can't go moving around the facility. Their movement is kept to a minimum. If anything, this is further restriction from where he was at the Broward County Jail. Because of direct supervision, because of high security risk inmates, they are considered, and they don't have to leave their housing unit for visitations. I remember YNW Melly's mom said she hadn't had a visit with her son in so long, and you know they had taken away his visitation rights, but that's because of what he was doing behind bars, right? Well, on top of that, he might be able to get visitation here because they don't even have to leave their housing unit to do a visitation. Their people can come see them right in their housing unit. I ain't never heard of nothing like this. So a non-breakable window separates the housing unit from the visitation area, and the inmates and the visitors can talk on a built-in phone that's built into the wall like the old school phones. Check out the inmate records below, YNW Melly, YNW Bortland, etc., etc. Listen, check this out. Even if you've never been in one of these facilities before, I'm sure that you've seen it in the movies. where the woman is touching the glass and the man is touching her hand behind the glass but they can't physically touch each other. But that's all you got to work with, because you won't be able to touch your loved one, your visitor, your partner, whoever it is that's visiting you. Man, that's rough. That's called sensory deprivation. I'm saying, just going off on another tangent, just without getting to the topic or getting to the meat of the matter, that's punishment. To not be able to feel a hug from your loved ones on a visit, to not be able to touch their hand or have them touch you, that alone is sensory deprivation. That's why they have stuff like where they lock you in solitary confinement, and they take away all the sensory stuff from around you. People end up losing their minds in there, right? After a while, they start hallucinating. After a while, they started feeling like things are crawling all over your body. After a while, the walls start closing in on you. After a while, especially those who have no visual of the outside of that room that they're in, it's been proven time and time again that the mental starts to deteriorate as soon as they get put in solitary confinement. And some people never become the same, never go back to being the same again. And some people, they lose it altogether and end up committing suicide or whatever else. So YNW Melly looks like he's been moved to a more restricted kind of area. I don't know if this is because of how he's been behaving, but I find it funny that they moved him right before we hear anything else about when his trial was supposed to start. But let's not forget also, his attorneys have been trying their best to get the Broward County prosecution team all off his case altogether. Nothing has been said about them being off the case. So it's still the same prosecutors that's prosecuting the case, but he is no longer at the Broward County lockup. He'll be now placed somewhere else, which leaves us a bit more confused. Hey, we're still waiting to hear more, see more, what's about to happen. I'm just waiting to hear the start date, man, for when his trial is supposed to start and all that. Now, back in January, John J. Murphy III, which is the judge that is overseeing the YNW Melly murder trial, John J. Murphy III said that the retrial of his crew member YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Jewel would begin. He said that the retrial should have started on March 5th or sooner or soon thereafter, right, according to documents that were filed. Now, the expedited start date comes because Melly had been in custody for over 750 days while awaiting trial. The documents had made clear. But it's also YNW Melly's attorneys who keep on filing these extra motions, and every motion that's filed has to be addressed. So in a sense, they're asking for a speedy trial, but then they're doing things that legally limits that and legally stops them from getting to a speedy trial. So I don't know what their motive is, or this is a part of their strategy as to how they plan on fighting this case. But just know that YNW Melly's attorneys are a part of the reason why his trial has not started yet. Now, again, he was arrested February 2019. Back then, he turned himself in. And up till today, his trial has been pushed forward numerous times in just recent months. According to, say, reporter Bryson Paul, John Murphy expressed urgency in getting a retrial underway at a court hearing back in January, but to date, the trial has not yet commenced. Everybody knows what he's in there for, and Melly, if he is convicted, faces the death penalty. Also remember that the governor, Ron DeSantis of Florida, made it into law that it is no longer required for a unanimous vote from a jury of 12 in order for you to get the death penalty. Back in a time gone by, you needed all 12 jurors to say yes, death penalty. He scratched that. So they only need 8 now. They don't need 12 anymore. Or I believe it's 8, right? So things are looking pretty shaky, and the state of Florida is definitely pushing for the death penalty for YNW Melly. They could have done this a different way. They could have tried Melly alongside Bortland, but they would have had to drop the death penalty in order to try both of them together, and they don't want to do it. They don't want to drop the death penalty, which tells me that by any means necessary, the state is going for that death penalty. They feel like they have enough on him to get a conviction and to sentence him to death, right? If Melly is convicted. Now, Melly's legal battles, however, has not stopped him from commenting on new music. Last month, the rapper took to Instagram stories where he stirred up some drama, alleging that K. Dot took a direct shot at him on a song that's called Like That, fresh off Future and Metro Boomin's new album called We Don't Trust You. That's new music, just came out. Obviously, he has access to social media, and he's keeping up with the music industry and what's going on. In a screenshot that was shared by DJ Academics, Melly actually highlighted some of the lyrical mix-up, and he was pointing out a post that was displaying genius lyrics to Like That, which mistakenly mentions Melly Mel instead of hip-hop legend Melly Mel, the apparent target of Kenny's verse. So it wasn't even about YNW Melly, it was about old school rapper Melly Mel. Wasn't ready for this stray at Kendrick Lamar person, talking, and man, face-palming emoji. You go at least share my single today, man, shrugging emoji. Melly wrote on his post. The funny thing is, this had nothing to do with him. But apparently, he's not that versed in rap history that to know that Melly Mel is actually somebody who is relevant to old school, who is relevant to the foundation of hip hop, and who is still out here, and that's who was mentioned, not him, right? Whether here nor there, it is what it is. End of the day, the message is fresh news concerning YNW Melly. He's been moved to a new facility, and we think it's a more secured facility, upgraded security, where he is under more restrictions than he was before. That's what we got for you today. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Correct me on anything you think I need to be corrected on, or give me your opinion on why do you think they moved him to a more restricted facility than what he was in before. I'll catch you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV / BrainFLoTv. You already know, if that topic is hot, we're on it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out. Peace.